Get ready for some chills and thrills because we're counting down the top horror movies from each year. That's right, we're taking a terrifying trip through time, revisiting the films that kept us up at night and peeking into some hidden gems you might have missed. Whether you're a jump scare junkie or a fan of slow-burn psychological dread, we've got something for everyone. So grab some popcorn, dim the lights, and get ready to scream. 2014, The Babadook.
This monster thing has got to stop.
This Australian horror flick isn't your typical jump scare fests. It dives deeper into the psychological torment of grief and the unsettling bond between a mother and her son. Amelia, a single mom still reeling from the violent death of her husband, struggles to care for her troubled son, Sam. Sam becomes increasingly obsessed with a mysterious pop-up book titled Mr. Babadook.
You can't get rid of the Babadook.
You can bring me the boy.
As Amelia tries to dismiss it as a childish freak-out, the lines between reality and nightmare begin to blur. Is the Babadook a malevolent entity or a manifestation of Amelia's unresolved trauma? It's a dark and disturbing tale that reminds us that sometimes, the scariest monsters are the ones we create ourselves.
You're trespassing in my house!
2015, The Witch.
Boo! Boo!
This historical horror film isn't your typical ghost story. It throws us into the dark and desperate world of a Puritan family banished from their settlement. Struggling to survive on the edge of a vast wilderness, they face dwindling resources, a harsh winter, and a growing sense of paranoia. Accusations of witchcraft and strange happenings in the woods around their isolated cabin tear the family apart.
Who's there?
The Witch is a slow-burn chiller that relies on atmosphere and dread to create a truly unsettling experience. With its haunting visuals, unsettling dialogue in a unique early modern English dialect, and a sense of creeping dread, this film will leave you questioning everything. Is there a real witch in the woods, or is it something far more terrifying, the darkness within ourselves?
Oh God, my Lord, I now begin. Oh, help me and don't leave my sin.
2016, Raw. This French film dives into the unsettling world of a young vegetarian woman, Justine, starting at veterinary school. There, she's forced to participate in a bizarre hazing ritual that involves tasting raw meat. From that moment on, Justine develops a strange and uncontrollable craving for flesh. Raw is a disturbing and thought-provoking film that uses body horror to explore themes of family bonds, identity, and the dark urges that can lurk beneath the surface. With its unique visuals and strong central performance, Raw is not for the faint of heart, but it's a horror film that will stay with you long after the credits roll. 2017, Get Out.
Can I see your license, please?
He wasn't driving.
This isn't a run-of-the-mill scare fest. It's a sharp social thriller that chills you to the bone. Writer and director Jordan Peele masterfully blends horror with social commentary, using unsettling imagery and mounting tension to explore the ever-present issue of race in America. Chris, a young black man, ventures to his white girlfriend's idyllic family estate for a weekend getaway. Initial awkwardness soon gives way to a creeping sense of unease.
Rose, we gotta go.
Is everything okay?
The Armitage family's overly accommodating behavior and cryptic conversations raise red flags for Chris. As the weekend progresses, bizarre rituals and unsettling discoveries reveal a horrifying truth lurking beneath the seemingly perfect facade. Get Out is a masterclass in building suspense, delivering genuine chills while leaving a lasting impact with its thought-provoking themes. 2018, Hereditary. This psychological horror film isn't interested in cheap scares. Instead, it delves into the terrifying depths of grief and the cracks it leaves in a family. Following the death of her secretive mother, Annie, a troubled artist, grapples with a wave of grief and disturbing events that start to plague her family. Her teenage son becomes withdrawn, and unsettling occurrences pile up, blurring the lines between reality and nightmare.
Mom?
I don't like this. Dad, I don't like this.
What's happening? Peter!
Is it just grief manifesting, or is something more sinister at play? Hereditary is a slow burn chiller that relies on building dread and a sense of unease. With its powerful performances, especially by Toni Collette, and its exploration of dark family secrets, this film will leave you unsettled long after the credits roll.
You don't think I'm gonna take care of you?
But when you die.
2019, Midsummer.
It's sort of a crazy festival. Special ceremonies and dressing up.
That sounds fun.
This horror film ditches the usual haunted houses and monsters for something far more unsettling. broad daylight dread. A young couple travels with friends to a remote Swedish village for a unique midsummer festival. Initially, it seems like a carefree escape filled with sunshine and endless daylight. However, things quickly turn bizarre as the seemingly innocent traditions of the festival take a dark and sinister turn.
What am I going through?
As the days turn into weeks and the lines between celebration and ritual blur, the group becomes increasingly unsettled and trapped. Midsommar is a slow burn horror that uses beautiful visuals and a haunting atmosphere to create a truly unsettling experience. With its exploration of cult mentality and the fragility of relationships, this film will leave you questioning the line between beauty and horror.
That's why you look so guilty right now, because you know.
2020 His House.
You must not move from this address.
This haunting film isn't your typical ghost story. It blends psychological horror with social commentary, exploring the trauma of displacement and the struggle to rebuild a life. After fleeing war-torn South Sudan, a young couple Bol and Rial finally secure asylum in the UK. Settled in a seemingly ordinary house, they try to adjust to their new life.
I saw something in the dark.
However, strange and unsettling things start happening within the walls. The house seems to hold on to a dark past, and unsettling visions plague them both. His House is a masterclass in building suspense. It uses mounting dread and a sense of unease to keep you guessing. Is the house truly haunted by a menacing entity, or are the horrors they face a manifestation of their past trauma? This thought-provoking film will leave you pondering the lingering effects of displacement and the ghosts, both literal and metaphorical, that can haunt us.
It says I should be afraid of you.
2021 A Quiet Place, Part 2.
I don't know why you came all the way up here. There's nothing left.
2021 cranked up the volume with the return of the Abbott family in A Quiet Place Part 2. This sequel doesn't just repeat the jump scares of the first film, it expands the terrifying world where even the slightest sound attracts deadly creatures. Picking up right after the shocking events of Part 1. The surviving Abbotts, Evelyn, Regan, Marcus, now a teenager with hearing aids, and their newborn baby must face the horrors of the outside world in complete silence. Forced to find refuge and a way to fight back, they encounter new threats and allies in this desperate struggle for survival. A Quiet Place Part 2 builds on the edge-of-your-seat suspense established in the first film, delivering more chills and showcasing the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable danger. 2022 Barbarian.
Stop it! Stop it! We have to come this way! Tess, we have to come this way!
A creepy crawly horror film that will make you think twice about booking an Airbnb. Get ready for an unsettling tale of double bookings, dark secrets, and something lurking beneath the surface. Imagine you're Tess, a young woman on a business trip. She arrives at her rental late at night, exhausted, only to find a strange man already occupying the place. Against her better judgment, she decides to spend the night, but soon realizes there's more to this house and the people in it than meets the eye. Barbarian throws Tess into a nightmare scenario. She uncovers hidden rooms, disturbing artifacts, and a growing sense of dread. The film explores themes of isolation, vulnerability, and the horrors that can hide in plain sight. This isn't your typical jump-scare horror flick. Barbarian relies on slow burn suspense and a chilling atmosphere to keep you on the edge of your seat. 2023 Talk to Me.
Talk to me.
An Australian horror film that will mess with your head. Get ready for a group of teenagers who dabble in a dangerous game and unleash something they can't control. Imagine a bunch of high school friends hanging out, bored and looking for a thrill. They stumble upon a creepy ritual involving a severed, embalmed hand. Thinking it's harmless fun, they use the hand to try and contact the spirit world. Big mistake.
She was trying to reach out. I'm here.
Talk to Me explores the consequences of messing with forces you don't understand. As the teenagers continue their spooky game, things get creepy fast. They experience disturbing visions, strange occurrences, and a growing sense of dread. Soon, they realize they've opened a door they can't close, and a malevolent entity is determined to make them pay. This Aussie horror film is a fresh take on the possession genre. It's more than just jump scares. It's a slow descent into paranoia and terror.
They like you.